Welcome to Mindful Movement, day 30, the last day of this series. What we're going to do today is kind of combine everything we've learned and do a full body workout. We're going to have a warm up, full body exercises, upper body, lower body, core, and some mobility work to cool down. Just have all your equipment nearby. We need some weights. We're going to do some heavier weights, some lighter weights, some band work, and a mat for the ground. And of course, a water bottle. Grab your equipment and let's get started. With a warm-up, first thing we're going to do, we're going to just have a little open area. You're going to alternate knee towards your chest, very light. We're not overly flexing, just kind of getting some range of motion. Going to go back and forth a couple times. I'll do that again. Okay, we're going to move to the opposite. So, going to grab your ankle, not your foot, ankle or tap. But we're trying to kind of get these hip flexors. What I don't want is like just arching your low back. Try to kind of just kick, a little tap. The reason we don't grab our foot is because then you might like sprain your ankle by grabbing it. We are trying to work on the hips and get them warmed up. So by grabbing the ankle, we are protecting our feet and ankle ligaments. Okay. We're going to go diagonally. Two options here. You can grab your ankle and pull up, or you can tap. If you have a lot of hip mobility, then don't go crazy with it. We're just doing gentle range of motion to warm up. So we like to have active range of motion to warm up, and if you're going to do any passive stretching, then after the workout would be the time to do it. I have one hip that's just much more limited than the other. But that's just my hip structure. My mom has it too. So I'm not going to really be changing that. All right. Let's go into a wide lunge. Weight equally through toes and heels. You're going to come back. We're lengthening that inner thigh. We're just going to keep it nice and active. A little bit of side to side. Something's popping. All right, so grab your heavy weight. We're going to do a deadlift. So depending on what kind of weight you have, you might start at the top. A little reminder, knees loose, hips back, knees back. Go down to your knees and back up. I'm going to use my trap bar just because this is what I have available right now. So we got our wide stance, shoulders back, come down to the bar, push your feet equally through the ground to come up. We're blowing out as we come up, in as we go down. If you have long weights, you may not be going all the way down to the ground. Again, that's just going to depend on what weight you have. You can do it from the ground if you have something to elevate it, like bumper plates, to where you can really get down without rounding your back too much. I think that was 5. So we rest, we catch our breath, and then we'll do it again. So we're going to do our complex movements first, and then we'll get into some of the smaller muscles towards the end. Feel free to push the weight today if you're comfortable with your form. If you're not, then go back and keep working on the hinge until you feel like you've got it. All right, let's do 5. Let's do 8 more. Okay, so bend. My hips popping every time. Whew. Get your breath. We've got one more set of 8. Okay. I like my rest time. Here we go. Should really all be in the legs if you're doing it right. I'm just going to show you from the side. So it's just like the RDL, but I'm doing a knee bend, more of a conventional deadlift, in order to safely bring it all the way down to the ground. For me, I would probably recommend, if you don't have a bar, starting from the top and then only going to here, focusing on your hamstrings. Man, okay. I really hate talking during that. And I've said that so many times during the series. Woo! All right, we've got squats next. We're gonna do 3 sets of 8 for our squats. I actually do not have my kettlebell today, so I'm gonna hold the plate. All right, shoulder width apart. Start with your shoulders back, breathe in, blow out, push equally through both toes and heels, not hyperextending at the top. Take a break. We've got 2 more sets of 8. For your rest time, you can stand, you can sit, you can walk. I like to sit with my head down a little bit if I get a little bit lightheaded. And for your heavier lifts, we really want to rest 1 to 2 minutes. When we're focusing more on endurance, that's when you could take shorter breaks. But for like true strength, we need to be at a weight to where you pretty much, like, you feel that muscular fatigue, need a break in order to do the next set to completion. So if you're not getting that fatigue, then you may be at too light of a weight for you. It's really a balance to find enough weight and not too much, especially when you're hypermobile. So let's go ahead and do another set of 8 for squats. All right, here we go. My brain is like really wanting some oxygen. As much breathing as you can get through your nose, the better. Your nose has its own little filtering system. All right, we got one more set of squats. Then we're going to move to like a multiplanar exercise. Okay. All right, shall we get it over with? All right, here we go. Ooh. Yay! Woo! Okay. So we're going to set up a weight. I'm going to go with 8-ish pounds. Whoop. My adjustable weight set can turn into a kettlebell too. All right. That will be good. So what we're gonna do, grab your one weight. We're gonna start here, wide stance, shoulder back. We're going to hinge back, hinge, most weight on the left leg. You're going to bring the weight down to the opposite foot. So hinge, over, press, up. Woo. Okay, so it's just like a deadlift, back into that hinge, hinge, over, press, up, hinge, press, hinge, press, breathe, hinge, press, woo, one more, hinge, and press. Okay, so when you're doing this motion, what we're not doing is this. What I'm doing is I'm really feeling it in that hip. So you should really be able to do it kind of on one foot. Should be a similar feeling to that RDL, but we're just adding a little rotation, hips stay forward. So some of you may only go to here, and that's okay. If you're bending too much, that may not feel good either. So we're keeping that shoulder back, hinge, and then going into a press. Booty should be sore if you're doing it right. Okay, let's do 6 on the other side. Whew. So we've got hinge. So I really have most of my foot on the standing leg. This toe is more there for balance. Hinge, press, woo. Hinge, press, This side is so much weaker for me. Hinge. 3. 4. 5. 6. So with this too, if we're kind of developing that power here, that can help with putting the weight up. It's like a clean, if you've heard of that. These exercises are a little more advanced, so if you're having trouble figuring out what muscles to use, it may be helpful to go back to some of the earlier videos where we work on the standard RDL, where we work on your sliders, like working in different planes of motion. My rotational one might be a good one to work on if you're having some trouble grasping these. Whew. Let's do one more set of 6 on each side. I'm just gonna go for it. All right, hinge, press, hinge. Sorry for like the really loud bang. It's my adjustable weight set for you. If overhead is too difficult, you can hinge and raise diagonally, but that will need to be a pretty light weight if you're going to do that. Or you could just work on the hinge and just leave out the press. All right, switch sides. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's funny how one side can just feel really off compared to the other. All right. We're going to move down to a mat. Maybe. All right, so we're on your hands and knees. Let's set your shoulders up, back, down, forward, unlock your elbow, squeeze your knees together very slightly. Take a deep breath in. We're going to tap your shoulder and the stabilizing arm. Do not let it sink in. Keep your body pressed away actively. Get your weight forward over your shoulders. One more on each. This should be shoulders and core. Come back, do whatever you need to do for your rest. I'm going to do it again. Set your shoulders first, reset, and tap. Put a towel roll under your wrist if this is difficult for your hands. One more on each. Little break. Okay, we're going to go to your legs. So continue hands and knees. One leg goes back, holds. Heel lengthened back, not up. Arms pressing away. You could start with this if you're feeling crazy. Opposite arm comes up. Keep pressing away through the stabilizing arm. And breathe. Unlock your elbows. Then switch. Start with your leg. Lengthen back. Make sure you're not kicking. Pelvis should be level. This one may be helpful to do in front of a mirror. Weight over this arm. Then you can add the other one. Keep pressing into that arm. And take a break. Gonna grab a tiny weight. This will work. All right. Here we go. Elbow stays in, up just to comfort, and back down. We are not flapping. Keep it controlled. We are working that rotator cuff. If it's too much, then decrease the weight. This one's really not going to be a lot of weight. Nice and slow. Take a break. Woo. Between 8 and 12, depending on what weight you are using. We could go back and forth, but I don't feel like moving. So I'm going to rest here, do a second set, and then we'll switch sides. How about in the in-between, instead of separating them? You're going to roll your hips forward, keep that bottom knee bent, top toe down towards the floor and back diagonally. And you're going to lift very gently. We are not lifting from here. We are stabilizing here, lifting from your hip. So it's not going to be a huge movement. Keep those hips rolled forward. If you have an ankle weight, you can add that. I just don't have mine with me today. We'll work the side of the hip if you're doing it right. We're doing 10. And take a break. Let's go back to the arm. I'm making this so much harder on myself by having to hold this. Ideally, a small dumbbell up to 3 pounds. All right, let's do 10 more hip abductions. Hips rolled forward, bottom knee can stabilize. Toe down. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo. All right, switch sides. Take your time getting up. All right, start with the shoulder. Let's try to get 10. You are okay to like lay your head completely down as well. Just don't want to smush my microphone. Elbow stays in. You will feel it kind of down the shoulder if you're doing it right. We're going for 10 this time. 8, 9, 10. All right, roll your hips forward. Foot stays down. Lift from the hip. For 10. One more set of each. Rest as long as you need to. I'm going to try to power through. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, last set of abductions. Roll forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, let's go right to your back. Grab some water if you need to. Let's do a couple deep breaths through your lower belly. And then we're going to go right into our dead bugs. So dead bugs would be the most advanced version. Level 1 is breathing. Level 2, breathe with a little tap. Level 3, breathe with a bigger tap. Level 4, hold. Level 5, hold. Legs down, alternating. Level 6, full dead bug. Toes up, shoulders depressed. We're breathing. You got a natural curvature in your low back. We're not flattening your low back down, but we're also not letting it arch like crazy. Just focus on the breathing component, and your core should do what we want it to do. Only do as many as you can do before it moves to your back, even if it's 1. Take a break. Little side to side and the in between. We do have one more set of dead bugs or any of the other levels. All right, let's do it. One more on each. Ooh, you can do more than me, you can do less than me, do what your body needs. All right, knees bent, push equally through your toes and heels. Push, 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 come up, down slowly, engaging the hamstrings and the glutes. Nice deep breaths down onto the core and pelvic floor. Hold at the top, mini march for 10, 5 on each side. Don't go too high. Little itty bitty baby march. If your hamstrings start to cramp, then go back to the regular bridge and build up. A little break. Oh, last but certainly not least, roll over. Slow. We're going to get into child's pose. Wide stance, down to your forearms. And we've got your thoracic rotation. Rotate at the mid-back and out the shoulders. Hold and breathe at the top. This breath should be up through the rib cage. Five on each side. Just be careful not to move just with your shoulder blade. Keep it the thoracic spine. Even if you don't go very far. I'm pretty locked up today. All right. Come forward if your knees can tolerate it. We're going to end in a tall kneeling position. Going to stack knees, hips, shoulders, ear. You're going to squeeze this butt cheek. Tilt your pelvis. You got a bowl of cereal. Spill the milk out the back. By doing that, you should get a good hip flexor stretch. Take a couple of deep breaths here. We're not doing any crazy lunge forward thing. It should be aligned and pelvic tilt. And switch sides. Spend as long as you need to in these positions. Tilt, breathe. This one, if you can really breathe down into the pelvic floor, that would be ideal. And grab your water. Take a seat if you need to. Slowly get up. Thank you for joining me in this series. Highly recommend going back through and working on each exercise again until you've got it. Especially some of the foundations earlier in the series are super important to build off of. We can't skip steps, especially if you're hypermobile. We've got to slowly build up. If you skip steps, it's not that you can't do it, but you will do it using compensatory muscles that are not meant to do deep stabilizing. And so really got to build up slowly. This one was more of an advance where we pulled things together. So yeah, please go back, do the whole series again. What you can expect on my page is more longer content, where most of my stuff is on Instagram right now. I'm only given 90 seconds. So I'm hoping to expand on some of those videos in longer format on YouTube. If you have any other requests for information or things you want to learn more about, you can comment that below and I will keep that in mind. Thank you for joining. Get up slow, hydrate, and I'll see you sometime.